Hey there, YouTube. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. My name is Leana Layla, and in this video, as the title suggests, I'm going to be giving you the information you need if you're interested in becoming a stripper. But I do have a little bit of a disclaimer. So if you're under the age of 18 or you just turned 18, please give yourself a little bit more time to finish school or get a wide array of work experience before you start stripping. So make sure you make the best decision for you. All right, so let's get started. So let me give you a little background information about me. I've been dancing on and off for over 13 years, and I have traveled to over 15 states. I originally started in Los Angeles, and I worked at over 65 clubs. Yes, that is right, 65 clubs. Now, not all of them for the same amount of time, obviously. Some were only a day. Some I've been working there years. Let's talk about becoming a stripper. So I'm really surprised, and it's, I think, genuinely a good thing that if you are out there and you're trying to figure out your way how to get in this industry, that there's more than one or two resources for you to tap into. So this video is just to help you try and get started in your dancer journey. So the first thing that I want to talk about is goals and expectations. Why am I starting out with that? Well, before the audition process and before I tell you, what to wear and what to expect at the clubs, you need to know why you're doing this. And obviously this is coming from somebody who really didn't have anybody telling me in my corner, like, well, why do you want to do this? What's the motivation? Of course you're thinking to yourself, well, money, obviously. I want to get money. I want an apartment or a car, or I want to travel, or I want to just pay my bills. Whatever the case is, you have to really set yourself up mentally to try and figure out what it is that's motivating you to do this. And there's a whole wide range of reasons why you could be doing this. But if money is just the overall motivating factor, I guarantee sometimes it's not going to be enough. So whether you're trying to pay your way through school or whether you're just trying to get out of your current situation, just stay focused on what it is that you want to do and what you want to accomplish, and let that money help you accomplish what your goals are. When it comes to expectations, I get really, really sad when I see these videos online of girls who talk about their first 1 or 2 or 3 days or even months where they really weren't making very much money or even thought about quitting. They sit there and they get downtrodden and they're like, well, this isn't anything like I thought it was going to be. And that's why I want you to have realistic expectations when you come into this industry. Also, I don't want you to waste any of your time. So if you have realistic expectations, you're less likely to you're less likely to become unmotivated. You might be thinking, well, what should be my expectations? And it's easier for me to explain what it shouldn't be. So what it shouldn't be is you thinking that you're going to walk in there and you're just going to have your outfit and your heels and you're just going to prance around and people are just literally going to hand you money, because it is not that way at all. And even when you're a new girl and you tend to attract what's called new girl money, it doesn't come easy. And you're up against a good amount of competition, probably competition that's already understood the layout of the club and they, have gotten into their rhythm, and, you're trying to figure out the whole environment. So just give yourself a little bit of time to get acclimated to this new job atmosphere, because it's unlike any other job that you've probably ever had in your life. It's not as much of a fun party atmosphere at times as you would think that it would be, but if you think the money is just going to automatically start raining down on you your first day, please do not be upset if it doesn't, because there's a learning curve to this. That being said, I really do hope that you make, $500, $1,000, $1,500 your first night. That would be great. But see, there's also a downside to that, because you might think it's like that every night, and it's not. So you just want to make sure that you understand that there are ebbs and flows, there are ups and downs to this industry. If you're new or you've never danced before, you're probably nervous and you probably got a little bit of anxiety, and you're thinking to yourself, well, I don't have any experience, so they're probably not going to hire me. how do I get around that? The way that you get around that is you're upfront, because even if you try and say that you've danced before, pretty much anybody who works in this industry can tell from a mile away whether you have or not. So there's no point. If you're new, just tell them, hey, this is my first club, my second club. I'm still, working on it, but I feel really confident in, my dance ability. And if you just come in there with a positive attitude and you're attractive, believe me, the managers know everybody's got to start somewhere. They are not going to turn down a pretty girl who is confident and say, oh, wow, well, you need to build up like 2 years experience before you come back here. That's completely not the way this works. So don't be afraid of being new. Don't be afraid of being inexperienced. Just be you. So the second step is you want to find a club near you. And I'm saying that with a little bit of caution, because depending on your situation, like for me personally, I never danced anywhere within 150 miles of the Bay Area, because that's where a good amount of my family is from. And I just did not want to have that situation where somebody walks in and they know me. So I always dance anywhere but the Bay Area. And that may or may not be feasible for you. So if you're in a very small town or a very rural area, you may not have a lot of clubs to choose from. So you have to kind of weigh your options. Do you go out and travel a little bit further so that you don't run into your family and friends, or do you stay, with the options that are there? And as far as the options that are there, I'm going to leave a link below for TUSCL, which stands for the Ultimate Strip Club List.net. Go on there and you can actually navigate the website, and it will show you all of the clubs in the United States and even in foreign countries. And you can just look at the list and see where you want to dance. Now, when you go there, it's got it broken down by states, but then it goes down even further and it goes by county. So you have to know kind of which county a lot of the majority of the clubs are in, or whatever counties are near you. So if you see that there are no clubs in your county, then you might have to go to the surrounding counties around it. When you look at the listings, they are pretty updated. So if clubs have closed, you'll see that. They'll say closed, not available, but they'll still have them listed. And then also you will have the clubs that are open, and then you will have a few statistics. It'll tell you if it's like a nude club, what kind of music they play. It'll tell you the dancer breakdown, and it might give you even lap dance prices or the hours that they're open. This is all really good information for you to take down, figure out where you want to work. Because where you work initially is up to you. So there may only be topless clubs in your area. There may be only nude clubs in your area. There may only be bikini bars in your area. And you have to figure out what's your level of comfort. So are you comfortable getting nude? Are you comfortable just doing bikini? Or do you want to work at a nude club and maybe just be a shot girl there for a little while until you understand the environment? It's up to you, but at least get an idea of what kind of clubs are around you. Also, there's a really good app that I've seen. It's called the Dancers Resource. I think it's put together by dancers, which is really nice. And it shows you these same kind of breakdown as the Ultimate Strip Club list. So check those out, and hopefully if you have any questions, just put it in the comments below. So once you found a club, let's talk about the audition process. So the audition process, you want to call ahead for information. And what I mean is the information that you're looking for, you just nicely introduce yourself and say, hi, I'm looking to audition as a dancer. Please make sure you say that. Audition as a dancer. And I know that some clubs' websites and social media may say, hey, send us a pic or send us a few pics in your resume. I never did that. I really don't understand why clubs are maybe doing that now, because a lot of times with pictures, you're not really sure. People could post pictures from 2-3 years ago. That doesn't mean that's going to be the person that actually walks through your door when it's time to get hired, but hey, they can do whatever they want to. But me personally, I never sent pics. I always went in person. But when you're calling for information, please make sure that you avoid this mistake. So I've got a friend who's a door girl at a club in Atlanta, and she told me that she's working the front door and she gets calls all the time. She said she answered the phone one time. She said, "Hello, how may I help you?" And the girl just said, "Are y'all hiring?" She was kind of baffled, and she actually told her no. She lied to her and said, "No, we're not hiring." And that's an easy way for you to shoot yourself in the foot, is by not even being semi-professional when you call. Her logic was, well, what did the girl mean? Are y'all hiring? Because we're hiring for dancers, yeah, but we're also hiring for shooter girls and waitresses and bartenders. So which one are you talking about? So she didn't even know what the girl was referring to and just didn't even want to deal with it, and she just hung up. So don't be that person. You want to be pretty specific with the questions, and you don't want to waste that person at the front door's time, because they probably get asked a lot of questions all the time. So this is the way that I would start the conversation. "Hi, my name is Leanna Layla, and I'm interested in auditioning as a dancer. Do you know what the best times and days are for me to come in and audition?" And they may ask you, well, what shift do you want to work? So you might want to make sure that you know if you want to work day shift, night shift, or if you're open to either. And once you say that, they'll give you probably a specific day and time. You also want to ask, who is the person of contact that I can speak with when I get there, so that you actually look like you are a legitimate inquiry when you get there, because you know which manager or house mom to speak with. You also want to ask them, is there an entertainer's license or a dancer's permit that's necessary for me to get? And they will normally tell you up front, yes, there is, and this is how much it is, and this is where you can go to get it. Or they'll say, don't even worry about that. Wait until you get hired first, and then we'll give you the paperwork to do all of that. Once you've set up the audition appointment, when you go there, make sure that you have your stage name picked out, or at least a stage name picked out. On an audition, they're really not going to care if you have the same name as somebody that already works there, because you're just auditioning. So make sure you have at least one or two stage names picked out, and then also have your genre of music that you like to dance to, because normally a DJ will ask you, well, what do you want to dance to? But make sure to be flexible, because the DJs don't always have the same ability to play whatever you want. Some places are a little restrictive on hip hop or rap or heavy metal music, so just kind of be flexible and just tell them the genre that you like. I like hip hop, I like rap, I like R&B, I like top 40, I like pop music, I like K-pop. I don't know, maybe they'll play that too. So your clothes and your shoes. So I don't want you to go out and spend a ton of money unnecessarily on a whole wardrobe before you even get hired. That is completely pointless. Make sure that you have at least a G-string, a bikini set, a lingerie set, and maybe a full cocktail dress. You don't have to necessarily have a gown, but at least have a cocktail dress or a mid-thigh dress. I will try and do a video later on the different types of clothing that you should probably bring with you. But like I said, don't spend a whole bunch of money on this yet. And with your shoes, you might just want to pick up, instead of going out and buying an actual stripper pair of heels, you may just want to come in with some, actually I take that back. That might be the one thing that you do want to invest in, is a good pair of stripper heels. Even if you don't get hired at that club, more than likely you're going to get hired somewhere, and that's a really good investment. But it's not the same as blowing $400 on a wardrobe before you get hired. You can build that up later. So when you go to audition, there's a few different ways that they can make you audition. They can either have you do an actual stage set, meaning that you'll be on stage, one of the main stages or a side stage, for 2 or 3 songs. Or they could tell you, hey, we only do hire our dancers through amateur contests. I have done that. Shotgun Willie's in Denver, Colorado. That's where it was. And so if you place in the amateur contest, then they give you the opportunity to work there. I don't know if they still do that, but some clubs do. Or they could just literally do what's called a body check, meaning that they ask you to get into maybe a thong or a bikini set, and they just want to look at the way that you look. They're only concerned about the way that you look. And if you are new and you may not be a great dancer, maybe that's not their priority. So if your audition is going to consist of you having to dance on stage, make sure that you take at least a few minutes to see at least one girl's stage set before yours to get a feel for what kind of style of dancing that they may be looking for, and always apt on the side of conservative. Now, what does that mean, conservative dancing? Unless you are working in the South, particularly in Atlanta, twerking is not necessarily the dominant dance style. It just isn't. And so if you practice twerking and that's all you know how to do, and you do not know a more elegant dance style, then that may hurt your chances of getting hired, in all honesty, especially at gentlemen's clubs. And so you want to find different dance styles that you can incorporate with the actual dance style that you like, and then use that within your routine. So you'll probably just get on there for a few songs, and what are they looking for when you're up there? So the managers are going to be looking for your dance ability, obviously, definitely the way you look. The level of experience may or may not make a difference to them. They may just want to see how comfortable you are, especially being either topless or nude. They want to see if you smile, if you make eye contact, if you interact with the customers that come up and tip you, how nervous you are. That is the kind of thing that they're looking for. They also want to see maybe if you have a lot of stretch marks, or you have an excessive amount of tattoos. They're looking for a whole laundry list of things, so don't take anything personally. And then after you do your stage set, either that day or that evening, right after your stage set, the manager or the house mom will come in and say, hey, great, you're hired. Why don't you fill out this paperwork and let us know if you know, what days you want to work, what shifts you want to work. And they'll go into the whole spiel about how everything in the club works. And otherwise, they may tell you, well, you know, you're really pretty, but you're not what we're looking for, or, you know, we're not hiring right now. We're kind of full. If they seem like they're giving you an excuse, don't take offense to it. Some people just don't want to be upfront and say, hey, you're not what we're looking for. Otherwise, other times it may literally be the truth. Maybe they are just too full, and they'll put you on a waiting list and they'll let you know if there's an opening. Don't let it discourage you. Just go over and find another club. Rejection at one club does not mean that you are not any club's cup of tea. That is not what that means at all. That means that for some reason, either that manager, that house mom, or that club was not vibing with you for some reason. So, you know, just throw it over your shoulder, move on to the next. So I hope I was able to give you a pretty good overview of what to expect about how to become a dancer, how the audition process works, and, you know, making sure that you understand what your goals are and why you want to do this. If you have any questions specifically, I would love to hear them in the comments below. And also check out the description below for my upcoming or newly released Stripper Blueprint program. So that program is going to give you a lot more insight into a lot of the details about working in this industry and the audition process and everything that comes along with it, and all of my strategies and tactics that I use to make money and sell VIPs day in and day out. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me on this video, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Have a great day.